Have you ever gone to bed thinking you did everything right for your kidneys? You drank enough water, you avoided too much salt, maybe you even skipped dessert. But what if one simple choice before bed could either help or quietly make your kidneys work harder all night long? Here's something most people don't realize. Your kidneys never take a break. While you're sleeping, they're still filtering your blood, balancing minerals, removing waste, and helping regulate your blood pressure. In fact, the hours you spend asleep are some of the most important for your body's natural repair process. Tonight, I'm going to share the one fruit I recommend most often as part of a kidney-friendly bedtime routine. Not because it's a miracle food, not because it can cure kidney disease, but because it supports several of the systems your kidneys rely on every single day. I'll also reveal 4 other fruits that deserve a place on your grocery list, and explain why one fruit that many people think is always healthy can actually be the wrong choice for certain people with advanced kidney disease. If you're over 50 and want practical, science-backed tips to protect your health naturally, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Most people think the kidneys only make urine. In reality, they're among the hardest working organs in your body. Even while you're fast asleep, nearly 1 million tiny filters inside each kidney continue cleaning your blood around the clock. Think of them as your body's natural filtration system. Every minute, blood flows through these tiny filters, carrying nutrients your body still needs, along with waste products, extra minerals, medications, and excess fluid. Your kidneys perform an incredible balancing act. They keep what your body needs and remove what it doesn't. They help regulate sodium, potassium, water balance, blood pressure, and even support healthy red blood cell production. It's estimated that healthy kidneys filter roughly 50 gallons of blood every day. Yet, despite doing all this work, most people rarely think about them until something goes wrong. That's one reason chronic kidney disease is often called the silent disease. In its early stages, there may be no pain, no obvious symptoms, no warning signs, which is why protecting your kidneys before problems develop is so important. And researchers continue learning something fascinating. It's not only what we eat, sometimes it's when we eat. Your body follows a natural 24-hour internal clock known as your circadian rhythm. As evening approaches, your body begins preparing for rest. Blood pressure normally falls, stress hormones decrease, cells begin repairing themselves after the day's wear and tear. It's your body's nightly maintenance shift. But the foods you eat shortly before bed can either support this process or interfere with it. Heavy meals, sugary desserts, salty snacks, and highly processed foods can keep your digestive system working long after your body wants to slow down. On the other hand, choosing a light, nutrient-rich snack can better support your body's natural overnight rhythm. That brings us to the fruit I recommend most often. If someone asked me, "Doctor, if I could choose just one fruit before bed to support healthy kidneys, what would it be?" My answer, for most healthy adults, would be blueberries. Many people expect me to say bananas, or watermelon, or lemons. But blueberries continue to stand out because they offer several important benefits in one small package. Not because they're magical, and certainly not because they cure kidney disease, but because they help support the systems your kidneys depend on every day. The deep blue color of blueberries comes from natural compounds called anthocyanins. These powerful plant antioxidants have attracted the attention of researchers for years because they appear to help protect cells from oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as everyday wear and tear inside the body. Just as metal slowly rusts over time, our cells are constantly exposed to tiny amounts of damage as we age. Antioxidants help your body's own defense systems manage that process. And that's important because your kidneys depend on healthy cells and healthy blood vessels to do their job efficiently. Healthy circulation doesn't just benefit your heart, it benefits your kidneys too. In fact, doctors often say something that surprises many patients. What's good for your heart is usually good for your kidneys. The two organs work closely together. Healthy blood vessels help both function at their best. Another reason blueberries receive so much attention is their potential role in supporting a healthy inflammatory balance. Now, inflammation itself isn't bad. In fact, it's one of your body's natural defense systems. If you cut your finger, inflammation helps begin the healing process. The problem comes when low levels of inflammation quietly continue for months or even years. Researchers believe chronic inflammation may contribute to many age-related health problems, including conditions affecting the heart, metabolism, and kidney function. That's why diets rich in colorful fruits and vegetables continue to be associated with better long-term health. Not because one serving changes everything, but because small, consistent choices add up over time. Real health rarely comes from one perfect meal. It comes from hundreds of healthy decisions repeated week after week. Blueberries make one of those decisions easy. Most people think fiber only helps digestion, but scientists now know it does much more. Inside your digestive system live trillions of beneficial bacteria. When these bacteria are fed with fiber-rich foods, they produce compounds that help support the gut lining and contribute to overall health. Researchers now refer to this as the gut-kidney connection. A healthier gut may help support healthier kidneys through several complex pathways that scientists are still studying. Again, this doesn't mean blueberries heal damaged kidneys. They don't. But they fit beautifully into an overall eating pattern associated with better health. One of the best things about blueberries is how simple they are. No cooking, no preparation, no expensive supplements. Just wash a small handful and enjoy them about an hour before bedtime. If you'd like a little extra protein, pair them with a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt, unless your healthcare provider has advised otherwise. Simple habits are often the easiest to maintain, and those are the habits that usually make the biggest difference over time. Blueberries may be my first recommendation. But they're certainly not the only fruit worth adding to your evening routine. The next fruit is special for an entirely different reason. It doesn't directly support kidney filtration. Instead, it may help support something your kidneys quietly appreciate every single night: healthy, restful sleep. I'm talking about tart cherries, not sweet cherries, not maraschino cherries, specifically Montmorency tart cherries. If you've ever heard athletes or sleep experts talk about tart cherry juice, there's a good reason. Tart cherries naturally contain small amounts of melatonin, the hormone your brain produces as daylight fades. Think of melatonin as your body's natural signal that it's time to wind down. Now, drinking tart cherry juice isn't the same as taking a melatonin supplement. The amount is much smaller. But researchers believe the natural combination of melatonin, antioxidants, and other plant compounds may help improve sleep quality for some people. And that matters because good sleep benefits almost every organ in your body, including your kidneys. When you're sleeping well, your body shifts into repair mode. Your blood pressure naturally drops. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Stress hormones begin to fall. That gives the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys a chance to recover after an entire day of filtering your blood. But poor sleep can interrupt that process. Some people remain under physical stress all night without even realizing it. Their blood pressure stays higher than it should. Their body never fully enters recovery mode. Over months and years, that constant strain may affect many aspects of health, including the cardiovascular system that your kidneys depend on. That's why doctors now view quality sleep as one of the foundations of healthy aging. Not because sleep cures disease. It doesn't. but because your body repairs itself best when you consistently get enough restful sleep. If you'd like to try tart cherries, keep it simple. A small serving of fresh or frozen tart cherries, or a small glass of 100% unsweetened tart cherry juice about an hour before bed, can fit into a healthy eating pattern for many adults. The key word there is unsweetened. Many fruit drinks contain large amounts of added sugar, and that's something your kidneys definitely don't need. Speaking of sugar, let's clear up one of the biggest nutrition myths on the internet. You've probably heard someone say, fruit has too much sugar. At first, that sounds logical. After all, fruit does contain natural sugar, so shouldn't we avoid eating it before bed? Not necessarily. The important question isn't simply how much sugar a food contains, it's how that sugar enters your bloodstream. Whole fruit comes packaged with something incredibly important: fiber. Fiber slows digestion. Instead of sugar rushing into your bloodstream all at once, it enters gradually. That's one reason whole fruit affects your body very differently than candy, soda, or many desserts. Think about eating an orange. Now, compare that with drinking a large glass of orange juice. To make one glass of juice, several oranges may be squeezed together. Most of the fiber is removed. What's left is absorbed much more quickly. The natural fruit becomes much less filling and much easier to overconsume. That's why nutrition experts consistently recommend whole fruit instead of fruit juice whenever possible. Nature packaged fruit that way for a reason. Now, let's talk about a fruit that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now: the apple. It isn't flashy. It doesn't get called a superfood very often, but that may be exactly why it's so impressive. Apples have stood the test of time because they're simple, affordable, and packed with nutrition. One medium apple provides fiber, vitamin C, water, and several beneficial plant compounds known as polyphenols. Researchers continue studying these natural compounds because they appear to support healthy cells by helping your body's own antioxidant defenses. Again, that doesn't mean apples prevent kidney disease, but they fit beautifully into a healthy dietary pattern associated with better long-term health. Sometimes the foods that have been around for generations are still among the best choices. Here's one mistake many people make: they peel it. When you remove the skin, you're also removing much of the fiber and many of those beneficial plant compounds. Whenever possible, wash the apple well and enjoy it with the peel. It's one of the easiest ways to get more nutrition without spending an extra dollar. Another reason apples work so well in the evening is that they're satisfying. Their combination of water, natural sweetness, and fiber helps many people feel comfortably full. That makes it easier to skip cookies, ice cream, or chips before bed. And remember, it's often those small substitutions, repeated consistently, that make the biggest difference over time. Healthy living isn't about perfection. It's about making slightly better choices more often. One thing I've learned after years of talking with patients is this: the healthiest habits are usually the simplest. You don't need exotic ingredients. You don't need expensive supplements. And you certainly don't need foods advertised as miracle cures. A bowl of blueberries, a fresh apple, or a handful of tart cherries, these ordinary foods may not seem exciting, but when they're part of a balanced lifestyle, they quietly support your body day after day. That's how real health is built, not through one perfect meal, but through hundreds of good decisions repeated over months and years. Now let's talk about the fruit that creates more confusion than almost any other. Some people say they're one of the healthiest foods you can eat. Others insist anyone worried about kidney health should avoid them completely. So, who's actually right? The answer is both can be right, depending on the person. For most healthy adults, bananas are an excellent food. They're naturally rich in fiber, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and one important mineral your body absolutely depends on: potassium. Potassium helps your muscles contract. It allows your nerves to send signals. And perhaps most importantly, it helps your heart maintain a healthy rhythm. Without enough potassium, your body simply couldn't function properly. Healthy kidneys do an incredible job of keeping potassium levels balanced. If there's too much, they remove the excess through your urine. It's one of the many reasons your kidneys work around the clock. Here's where the confusion begins. For people with advanced chronic kidney disease, the kidneys may no longer remove potassium as efficiently. As a result, potassium can slowly build up in the bloodstream. When potassium levels become dangerously high, it can interfere with the heart's electrical system. That's why kidney specialists regularly monitor potassium levels with blood tests. And that's also why some patients receive personalized advice about limiting certain high potassium foods, including bananas. But here's the mistake many people make. They assume that advice applies to everyone. It doesn't. Many people with early kidney disease, and most people with healthy kidneys, do not need to avoid bananas at all. In fact, eliminating nutritious foods without medical advice can sometimes do more harm than good. That's why nutrition should never be based on fear. It should be based on your individual health, your lab results, your medical history, and guidance from your healthcare provider. The healthiest diet is the one that's right for your body, not someone else's. One of the biggest myths on social media is that foods are either completely healthy or completely unhealthy. Real nutrition doesn't work that way. Context matters. Portion size matters. Your overall eating pattern matters. And your medical conditions matter. The truth is, most fruits can fit into a healthy lifestyle. The goal isn't to fear food. The goal is to make informed choices. Instead of asking, is this fruit good or bad? A better question is this fruit right for me? That simple shift changes everything. Before we finish today's list, there's one more fruit I want to mention. It doesn't receive nearly as much attention as blueberries or bananas, but it absolutely deserves a place in a healthy diet. I'm talking about strawberries. Besides being naturally sweet and delicious, strawberries provide vitamin C, fiber, water, and a variety of natural antioxidants known as polyphenols. Researchers continue studying these compounds because they help support your body's natural defense systems against everyday oxidative stress. Again, that doesn't mean strawberries cure kidney disease. No fruit can do that. But they contribute to the kind of balanced eating pattern consistently linked with better overall health. Another advantage is that strawberries are relatively moderate in potassium compared with several other popular fruits. That makes them an excellent option for many people, especially when enjoyed as part of a balanced diet. One thing I always recommend is choosing fruit that's as close to its natural form as possible. Fresh strawberries, frozen strawberries with no added sugar, or strawberries mixed into plain Greek yogurt are all excellent choices. What I'd be more cautious about are products that only sound healthy. Strawberry-flavored yogurt packed with added sugar, sweetened fruit cups, fruit snack bars, candied dried fruit, or bottled smoothies loaded with sweeteners. The front of the package might highlight fruit, but the ingredient list often tells a very different story. Your kidneys respond to what's actually inside the food, not what's printed on the label. Whenever possible, choose foods that still resemble the way nature made them. Simple choices are often the healthiest ones. One thing I hope you notice is that none of the fruits we've discussed today are expensive. None require special recipes. None are miracle foods. They're ordinary groceries found in almost every supermarket. And that's actually encouraging, because lasting health rarely comes from dramatic changes. It comes from simple habits you can repeat every day. Choosing blueberries instead of cookies, an apple instead of candy, fresh strawberries instead of a sugary dessert. These decisions may seem small tonight, but repeated over months and years, They can have a meaningful impact on your overall health. Your body doesn't reward perfection. It rewards consistency. That's the real secret. Not chasing the newest superfood, but building a lifestyle that supports your health, one choice at a time. So now we know which fruits are worth adding to a healthy bedtime routine. But one important question still remains. What should your bedtime routine actually look like? Let's put everything together into a simple evening routine. Because protecting your kidneys isn't about finding one magical food. It's about creating habits your body can rely on every single day. If someone were sitting across from me asking, "Doctor, what's the healthiest thing I can do before bed?" This is what I'd recommend. Try to finish your evening meal 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. That gives your digestive system enough time to do most of its work before you fall asleep. It also gives your blood sugar more time to stabilize. Many people eat a heavy dinner, then head straight to bed. Your body now has to digest a large meal while it's trying to prepare for sleep. Instead, think of the evening as a time to gradually slow things down. Lighter meals, calmer routines, and fewer late-night snacks. Your entire body, including your kidneys, benefits from that rhythm. Now, let's be realistic. Sometimes you really are hungry before bed. That's perfectly normal. The answer isn't to ignore your hunger. The answer is to make a smarter choice. Instead of reaching for cookies, candy, potato chips, or ice cream, choose something simple. A small bowl of blueberries, a sliced apple, fresh strawberries, or tart cherries if they're available. If you'd like a little extra protein, pair your fruit with a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt, or a small handful of unsalted nuts, if your healthcare provider hasn't advised you to limit them. Notice something important. None of these foods are expensive. None require complicated recipes. They're simple foods you can find in almost any grocery store. Healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simplest habits are often the ones people stick with the longest. Another question I hear all the time is, should I drink a big glass of water right before bed? The answer may surprise you. For most healthy adults, what's far more important is staying hydrated throughout the day. Think of your body like a garden. You wouldn't ignore your plants all day, then pour several buckets of water on them right before sunset. You'd water them consistently. Your body works the same way. If you drink a large amount of water just before bed, you'll probably wake up several times during the night to use the bathroom. Interrupted sleep isn't ideal for your overall health. Instead, aim for steady hydration during the day. By bedtime, you shouldn't be trying to catch up. You should simply be maintaining good hydration. One more habit that's worth mentioning, pay attention to how much sodium you're eating in the evening. High sodium meals encourage your body to hold on to extra fluid. Over time, too much sodium can contribute to higher blood pressure, and high blood pressure remains one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease. The good news? Reducing sodium doesn't mean your food has to taste bland. Fresh herbs, garlic, black pepper, paprika, rosemary, thyme, and lemon juice can add incredible flavor without relying on excess salt. Small changes like these become powerful over time. So, after everything we've discussed today, let's go back to the original question. What's the best fruit to eat before bed for healthy kidneys? For most healthy adults, my answer remains blueberries. Not because they're magical, not because they can cure kidney disease, but because they combine fiber, powerful antioxidants, heart-friendly nutrients, and convenience into one simple package. But here's the message I hope you'll remember long after this video ends. Your kidneys are not protected by one fruit, or one supplement, or one so-called superfood. They're protected by the habits you repeat again and again and again. Every balanced meal, every good night's sleep, every walk around the neighborhood, every effort to keep your blood pressure under control, every decision to choose whole foods over highly processed ones. Those quiet choices may not seem important today, but over months and years, they add up. Just as kidney disease often develops silently, kidney protection happens silently too. You may not notice a difference tomorrow morning, but your future self may be incredibly thankful for the habits you begin today. So tonight, instead of reaching for a sugary dessert or a bag of chips, consider reaching for a small bowl of blueberries or another whole fruit we've talked about today. It may seem like a tiny decision, but sometimes the smallest decisions, repeated consistently, create the biggest changes. Because good health isn't built overnight. It's built one healthy choice at a time. If you found today's video helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Which fruit are you most likely to add to your evening routine? Will it be blueberries, apples, strawberries, tart cherries, or bananas? Let me know in the comments below. I read as many of your comments as I can, and I truly enjoy hearing about the healthy habits you're building. If you enjoy evidence-based information about healthy aging, kidney health, heart health, diabetes prevention, and simple nutrition tips, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourself, stay curious, and remember, your kidneys work for you every minute of every day, even while you're asleep. The small choices you make tonight can help support your health for many years to come. I'll see you in the next video.